The BEETS family faces a race against time as they try to extract dirt from the frozen mining cut. But as the temperature rises, so do their challenges. Would they be able to fix their problems in time for the day's mine, or would they go back home disappointed? Stay tuned to find out. In the heart of the operation, Kevin BEETS finds himself battling a mechanical breakdown in one of the trucks. With the fleet frozen, their efficiency takes a hit, and the pressure is on. He complains sadly about the amount of time they have wasted and how important it is for the continuity of their show that the trucks get back on track. He says that if they don't fix the truck as soon as they can, they will be seriously behind their schedule. Meanwhile, the relentless Ruby Mahoney is digging deep, uncovering signs of gold in the soil. The promise of hitting the fabled white channel page keeps the team motivated, but challenges persist. Back at the truck, Kevin faces another breakdown, putting operations on hold. The radio crackles with urgency as the team scrambles to fix the issues and keep the tight schedule intact. Again, Kevin complains about how hard it is coping with the excesses of the rock, breaking down from time to time without any signs. He emphasizes the need for the trucks to be back in action ASAP. The mining team, despite setbacks, presses on with determination. Tony BC takes charge, strategizing to salvage the situation and keep the mining operation on track. Like Kevin, Tony sees how important it is for them to avoid any more setbacks. Time is of the essence if they want to make the quota for the day. He rallied the team, and soon enough, the machines began to work and they began to set the ball rolling. Over at the wash plant, Fred Lewis seeks guidance from Parker. Equipment issues threaten to compromise Fred's gold production target for the season. Fred and Parker talk about the issues they have with their equipment and the urgent need for a solution. Because if they don't find a remedy to this problem, they may not be able to continue with the series. Fred makes the tough call to shut down the wash plant, creating doubt about the viability of reaching the season's gold target. The team, however, remains determined. Just when the morale of the workers seem to have been given a little push, another problem strikes. Dave encounters difficulties with a jammed tail pulley, causing another setback. The team works tirelessly to resolve the issue and resume operations. Amidst the challenges, a potential gold discovery in a broken rock renews hope for Dave's team. Despite setbacks, the miners remain committed to overcoming options. Meanwhile, Tony's son Mike leads the charge in a massive effort to strip 700,000 tons of dirt from the cold coat. The goal is to hit Paradise Hill's fabled white channel pay within a week. A breakthrough moment occurs as they discover what appears to be the distinctive iron-stained yellow soil, a potential indicator of gold-rich ground. The urgency escalates as unexpected setbacks plague the operation. Kevin, Tony's chief mechanic, faces the challenge of keeping the fleet of rock trucks in working order. With multiple breakdowns and a critical shortage of essential parts, the team is forced to make crucial decisions on the fly, further intensifying the race against time. With the clock ticking, Mike beats strategies to maximize the extraction of dirt from the cold coat. The ambitious goal of hitting Paradise Hill's white channel pay within a week requires a relentless pursuit of efficiency. The BEETS family invests everything they have, mobilizing their resources to ensure the success of this high-stakes endeavor. The pressure intensifies as Tony's chief mechanic, Kevin BEETS, faces a mechanical nightmare. The rock trucks, essential for hauling dirt, face constant breakdowns, each one threatening to derail the entire operation. Kevin's mechanical prowess is put to the ultimate test as he battles missing bolts, broken parts, and a relentless race against time. The turning point arrives as expert operator Ruby Mahoney uncovers signs of gold in the cold coat. The distinctive yellow soil, coupled with rounded riverbed rocks, suggests the presence of gold-rich ground. The discovery ignites a spark of hope, fueling the team's determination to persist in their quest for the legendary white channel pay. Meanwhile, mine boss Fred Lewis faces a critical decision. Despite dealing with faulty equipment, Fred remains committed to mining the challenging terrain. However, the gold yields fall significantly short of the targeted 60 ounces per week. Faced with financial challenges and an uncertain future, Fred contemplates the viability of continuing. In these thrilling and difficult episodes, the superheroic and warrior-like qualities of Tony BEETS, a gold miner, and the Winchester crew, who are able to survive the challenge of recovering their most recent machinery, are brought to the forefront. In the event that their excavator stops functioning owing to chain problems, what strategies will Winchester crew employ to deal with the situation? As a result of this circumstance, how will they get the end that they want? Let's join Tony BEETS and the Winchester crew in their pursuit of gold and dive headfirst into the extremely fascinating endeavors that they are involved in. During his search for gold in Paradise Hill, Yukon, Tony BEETS jumps headfirst into his objective. Tony BEETS is making progress in the correct direction to achieve his goal of digging 5,000 ounces of gold, utilizing the sophisticated technology that is operating to effectively carry out his objective. He is in the process of maintaining his previous record. The most significant obstacle that he must overcome in his endeavor is the weather conditions, which have the potential to produce a significant disruption in his path. Even though it is the middle of September, the persistent rain is making the situation more stressful for the leader of the clan Dyke. This is because the rain is slowing down the machinery. In light of the fact that he is only 900 ounces away from achieving his objective, he is all set to dig the 80 pup cut, which has a great deal of potential to uncover a substantial quantity of gold. The rain is making things tough for them because it is filling the pond with water, but he is so excited to see the mounds of gold that are in the 80 pup cut. They were confronted with the same difficulty 12 weeks earlier, which led to the entire suspension of their operation. At that time, the ponds were flooded with water, and they had to construct them once more. This time, the same weather scenario puts a significant amount of pressure on his nerves, and he instructs Mike, one of his crew members, to take the 220 excavator to the dike by the pump area in order to fix things up and to prevent the dreadful repercussions of the water falling down in the ponds and disrupting their activities. The excavator 220 that Mike is operating is making its way through the sticky mud on its way to the dike. In spite of the rain that is getting heavier, he is hoping to reach the dike as quickly as possible. The excavator gradually slowing the operation. In a surprising turn of events, Parker Schnabel, a seasoned gold miner, offers his insights to Fred Lewis. Parker, passing by the Lewis mining site on his way to his Alaskan claims, provides valuable advice on the challenges Fred's operation is facing. The encounter sparks a moment of reflection for Fred as he grapples with the complexities of the Alaskan gold mining season. As Kevin BEETS battles the mechanical challenges, the urgency to overhaul the rock trucks intensifies. With several bolts missing and crucial components breaking down, the fleet faces a major setback. Kevin, along with the team, engages in a marathon of repairs, welding, and replacements, determined to bring the trucks back into operational condition. Mike BEETS takes a calculated risk by leaving the critical mining site to fetch additional trucks from the Indian. Betting on a swift return, Mike leaves the operation in the hands of the remaining crew members. The decision is a high-stakes gamble, hoping that the gain in truck numbers will outweigh the potential loss in operational momentum during his absence. Tony BEETS faces a managerial dilemma as the mining operation grapples with unexpected breakdowns and delays. With a third of the rock trucks out of action due to mechanical issues, Tony contemplates alternative plans. The need to balance immediate solutions with long-term strategies puts Tony in a tight spot, testing his leadership in the face of adversity. Expert operator Ruby Mahoney becomes the unsung hero as she embarks on a relentless digging marathon. Working day and night, Ruby pushes the machinery to its limits, determined to reach the fabled White Channel pay. Her unwavering commitment sets the tone for the entire team, instilling a sense of hope and determination amidst the challenging conditions. Fred Lewis finds himself at a crossroads as the challenges mount. With only 118 ounces of gold, well short of the targeted 500 ounces for the season, Fred contemplates the harsh reality. The race against time becomes more pressing as winter looms, adding a layer of complexity to the already challenging decision-making process. The unforgiving Alaskan wilderness continues to throw curveballs at the miners, from mechanical breakdowns to managerial dilemmas and the relentless pursuit of gold. The unpredictable nature of the terrain tests the resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination of each team member. As they navigate through the twists and turns, the outcome remains uncertain, making every decision a critical turning point in the quest for Alaskan gold. The mining drama continues, with each twist and turn testing the miners' resilience and determination. Will their collective efforts lead them to the golden bounty they seek, or will the challenges prove insurmountable? Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter of Gold Rush: Trials of the Thaw. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this roller coaster journey through the Alaskan wilderness. This endeavor has not produced any results at all. They need to broaden the scope of their struggles in order to bring heavy gear to a state where it can function properly. As soon as Tony comes up with a strategy to bring the excavator through the door, they are prepared to put it into action without delay. He divulges his strategy to bring in further reinforcements. It is his intention to bring the 18-ton D6 dozer, as well as the enormous 115-ton D11 dozer. In order to construct a sturdy foundation for the excavator, he intends to first remove the water from the area surrounding the submerged excavator, and then, with the assistance of a D6 dozer, force the coarse tailing into the hole. Last but not least, the colossal D11, which is a monster with 850 horsepower, will bring out the excavator while it is on the sturdy reinforced ramp. Within the plan, they discover a glimmer of optimism. In spite of the fact that the idea appears to be fantastic, it turns out to be quite challenging to implement due to the enormous amount of dirty water. Tony assumes control of the D6 dozer and starts the process of removing the water from the area. As it should have been, it starts to demonstrate the progress that has been made. On the other side, Mike begins to add coarse tailing to the pit, and it proves to be really beneficial for them. Even if the severe rain in Paradise Hill slows down the process of gold hunting, Tony is still optimistic that he will be able to harvest more gold out of the 80 pup cut, because it has proven to be quite fertile in terms of producing gold. Tony and his family are currently seated at the dinner table, which is located in their regular location. He laughs at Mike's suggestion that he should be held accountable for allowing their excavator to become submerged in the muck, because he has been driving the excavator without paying attention to the directions. It appears that he is pleased to be able to release the tension in a span of 2 to 3 hours. Despite the fact that Tony claims that the success is the result of his engineering and wisdom, Mike says that it is relatively simple to retrieve the excavator. Tony laughs as he makes this assertion. In the meantime, Mike is weighing the gold that he has acquired by pouring it into the tray. Tony requires 300 ounces of gold in order to maintain the functioning of their family system. As soon as Mike starts pouring gold out of the jar, the entire family immediately focuses their attention on the scale, and they start reading it out loud. Almost immediately, the readout goes beyond 300 and to 500 ounces, which is significantly higher than what they had anticipated. The entire amount of gold that they acquire is fourth. Want to know what happened in Gold Rush Season 14, Episode 2? Did they hit it big or did they run into trouble? Come with us for an exciting review. The group did a great job, and guess what? They first found gold. Not only that, but Parker Schnabel also bought something big. In this show that you won't want to miss, there will be fun, games, and lots of gold. The second episode of Season 14 of Gold Rush is all about Parker Schnabel and his new mining business at Dominion Creek in the Yukon. At the start of the show, Garth tells Parker that they should move to a new place. Parker bought a piece of land that is historically rich in gold and is determined to make it work. It is a huge job for Parker and his team to move 10 years' worth of mining activities in record time. They put $15 million into the land and are excited about the idea of being able to run their business however they want. There is, however, a feeling of unease and worry because everything is going so quickly. There are about 80,000 ounces of gold worth $160 million at Dominion Creek, which means the payout could be huge. Parker knows, though, that getting the gold out won't be easy. Dominion Creek has a history of being hard for miners, and many have failed because they were in a hurry to get gold. The costs can go up very quickly, which is a big financial risk. Parker will have to dig 40 feet deep to get to the gold, which will cost more money than the initial $15 million. Parker is set on breaking the code at Dominion Creek and getting a big payday, even though it could cost him a lot of money. He also has the chance to mine unexplored land on Australia Creek, which could bring even more riches. Parker agrees that there needs to be a good plan to deal with the problems that lie ahead. He talks about how important it is to keep all of their projects in balance, and how important it is to have both financial and physical protection. They need to quickly figure out the best way to do things and make sure they don't make the same mistakes as the previous miners. Parker's crew starts to make Dean's old cut at Dominion Creek longer. In about a week, they hope to have dug a 4.5-acre piece, 40 feet deep, all the way down to frozen pay gravel. As they look at how deep the ground they need to move is, the size of the job becomes clear. Before any gold can be taken out, a lot of money will have to be spent on this huge project. Parker is still optimistic about the new site, even though there are some problems. He thinks it will provide stability and a chance to make big gains. He does, however, agree that he needs to stay focused and work hard to reach the goal. Tony has spent more than $1,000 clearing overburden at Paradise Hill, but he is still not finding any gold there. He does, however, get a partial license to a gold mine in the Indian River, which gives him a new chance, and Tony can go back to his Indian River rights with his new water license, but he would have to move his whole business. Now he has to choose whether to stay at Paradise Hill or turn around and go to the Indian River. Tony and his team decide to fly in a chopper over the Indian River to get a better idea of what they are all about. The Indian River claim is 40 miles south of Paradise Hill and has more than 8 miles of gold-rich ground that has already been stripped. Tony brought back to life an old dredge 8 years ago to mine this valuable area. He really likes dredges because they are good at getting gold out of the ground. Tony added a shaker deck, a second wash plant, to his business so he could make even more money from the gold-rich land. Even though there were problems and failures, Tony's business made a huge $10 million in gold in just 2 seasons. He finally has the chance to go back to the Indian River and maybe find even more gold. Tony and his team check out the tools and infrastructure at the Indian River claim when they get there. These people find places that need fixing, like fixing leaks and clearing out clogged shots. Tony still thinks that gold is there and that if they work hard enough, it will pay off, even though there is a lot of work to be done. Back at Paradise Hill, on the other hand, people are getting ready for the next mining season. The team is having trouble because of the thick black mud that formed from the snow and ice this winter. Because it takes so long to dry, this mud makes working on the hill hard and takes a lot of time. The team is working hard to get rid of the black mud and get the spot ready for mining as the temperature rises. They run into problems like nightmares and dangerous situations because of the mud. Even with these problems, they are still motivated to get the gold out of the pay dirt. Mike has been told to shovel out some stuff from a certain spot. The weight of the load will depend on how much he gets. They decide to put the stuff in the truck and move on after looking at it. At the same time, Tony is excited about the chance of hitting a pay streak on the White Channel. If it works, it might change his mind about moving activities to the hill. Tony and Monica say hello to each other and then part ways. Back at the mine, it is said that Dudley was paid for and that someone was making sure there were 1,601 ounces, and they receive 500 ounces of gold that is worth $850,000. As a result of their excursion that took place in extremely severe weather conditions, they consider it to be exceptional. Jason Fraser, another mining boss, has arrived to Tony BEETS' Hunker Cut along with his Winchester crew. This is occurring on the opposite side of the fence. They have been in Yukon for the first time, and they are getting close to the end of their first season there. After the toil associated with a lengthy summer season, they are so eager to get back to their homes. Therefore, in order for them to continue living freely, all that is required of them is 200 ounces of gold to pay their landlords. They are optimistic that they will achieve their ultimate outcome, which is to acquire approximately 200 ounces of gold. Tony gives his blessing to the proposal because he will profit 30% from it. As of right now, they have already reached 106 ounces, and the entire cut has been thoroughly investigated. The truck that John Van Tuyl is driving to the Winchester is equipped with a double-barrel wash plant that he has constructed at his home. He is holding the steering wheel. Over the course of the season, it has been functioning fairly well, and he is still holding out hope that it will continue to function in the same manner. As the third member of their skeleton crew, Butch, who was formerly employed as a logger, goes through the process of becoming an excavator operator. He goes from being a novice to being deeply appreciative. In the midst of his announcement that he is on the final thread of 10,000 yards, the excavator suddenly hits a setback. In the course of its operation, the chain of the excavator breaks. Following his descent from the excavator, he makes a beeline for Jason in order to convey the news that the trammel has ceased functioning. Upon Jason's arrival, they investigate the situation and discover that the chain that is dangling down the excavator is the cause of the machine's inability to function properly. They discover that the chain has been severed from the master link, which is responsible for holding the entire chain together. If the master link has become inoperable, the Winchester weapon system will be unable to spin its twin barrel wash system. They have arrived at the conclusion that in order to avoid any delays in their work, they need to locate an additional master link to the chain. They search through a large bag of links and correctly identify the one that can be of assistance in the event that it is needed. However, John instructs Butch to attach the master link that is broken. He requests that he activate the TRL by turning the black button on the opposite side of the device to the opposite position. Subsequently, he requests that he let it go slowly while holding it. After that, he instructs him to move his hand slightly, since he does not want to cause his hand to get more compressed. Immediately after he raises his hand, the chain is unable to reach its wheel and they are forced to halt it for a period of time. They give it another go in an effort to recreate the procedure, and this time, they are able to make some further headway. During this time, Jason arrives at the location with the master link and climbs up the ladder in order to execute an assault on the chain. Finally, the Winchester crew succeeds in continuing their mining operation after the hard 2 hours of labor with the chain. They have a limited amount of time to meet their objective of 200 ounces, which is still 94 ounces short. Winter is just about to set in, and they have that time as a premium. When it comes to machinery, Jason laughs at the fact that they, like people, do not enjoy working during the winter months. Having returned to Tony's residence, he is currently seated alongside his woman. They have positioned themselves in anticipation of the Winchester crew, who are just about to arrive after cleaning the final patch. While he is thrilled, he is also hopeful that the Winchester crew will be able to accomplish what they have set out to do. During this time, the Winchester crew arrives at the location, and Tony inquires about the malfunction of the equipment that is causing them difficulties in their endeavor. Jason starts to pour the gold from a box onto the weighing scale, and they start reading it out loud at around the same time. They appear to be quite ecstatic and content with the discovery of 101 ounces of gold, which is beyond their expectations. This is because they have finally accomplished their objective, which is to acquire gold worth $350,000. Tony extends his most heartfelt congratulations to them on the successful conclusion of their first season at Yukon, and extends an invitation to return to the location. It is a happy conclusion for Tony and the Winchester crew, because their trips end up accomplishing their goal in a remarkable manner, despite the fact that they encountered a lot of challenges along the way and squandered a lot of time. In the comments section, please give your thoughts on these fascinating gold rush activities, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting and adventurous adventures in the future. Though it's from a different type, they swap out the hydraulic lines and cross their fingers, hoping that this will fix the dozer and allow it to work again. The dozer can now be used again because the new cylinder works. The team is glad to be done with their break after 5 hours and is ready to get back to work. They thank everyone who worked together to solve the problem and say they hope things go smoothly from now on. Now that the dozer is back on track, they can keep digging. Parker tells them that they need to make choices quickly to make the most of their limited time. No matter what problems come up, they are motivated to solve them and reach their mining goals. About the choices and problems that the BEETS family and Parker's crew have to deal with as they keep working in the mine. When the BEETS family hits it big in the super pit on Paradise Hill, they have to choose whether to stay there or take a chance on Indian River. Everyone in the BEETS family knows they have a lot of work to do after hitting a spring and getting stuck in a lot of mud. They know that living on Paradise Hill will be hard work, but they have everything they need there already. But if they move to Indian River, they would have to start over and do more work. Even though there are problems, they think the investment in the ground that has already been stripped is worth it, especially with the price of gold right now. They finally decide to move their business to the Indian River and focus on starting up the sluicing process there. At the same time, Parker's team is having their own problems. Parker has bought a lot of tools and new land from Dean. However, when they look at the gear, they see that it is broken and not very useful. They come across old, broken-down tools, such as an old one and a short bus. Even though the tools are broken, they try to make the best of what they have and get the job done. Parker's crew starts looking for loot in their new yard at Dominion Creek. Even though they know the equipment is in bad shape, they are still motivated to make the best of it. Not everyone on the crew is happy about the machines, but everyone is excited to work with Rick and get the plant up and going. In addition to pointing out Tony's determination to move his business from Paradise, for the season, his goal is to get 6,000 pounds of gold, and the Indian River business is very important to that goal. When we finally get to the end of this second episode of Gold Rush's 14th season, we find that the team is working hard to set up the gold room. They are determined to make it work, even though there are problems. To help with the process, more crew members and tools are expected to show up. The group is thrilled and can't wait to begin digging. As soon as they start the process, they are recognized for their hard work. Rick's first goal of the year is better than expected and earns him $42,000. Everyone is happy with the first results, and they can't wait to find more gold as the season goes on. The workers are still hard at work, removing layers of dirt and rock. They have worked non-stop for 6 days and have finally reached the gold pay level. Parker Schnabel, the young mining business owner, is very happy with how things are going. He is excited about letting the ground thaw and putting up the wash plant to work on the gravel in the hopes of finding a lot of gold underneath it. This episode has more than just digging going on. Parker also reaches an important milestone. Parker buys his first house, which he calls Dominion. He had been living in a trailer for years while he built his mining business.
I have a house now.
The crew has a party to celebrate by opening their new home. They joke around and enjoy the moment. Parker thinks about how important this accomplishment is and how it marks the beginning of a new chapter in his life. We get a look at Parker's new house in the last scene. Some members of the crew have mixed views about the house. For example, the carpeted floors in the bathroom bother them. Still, they are happy for Parker because he now owns land and celebrate the occasion. If you like what you've seen so far, please join the channel. This episode of Gold Rush Season 14 shows how determined and hard-working the miners are as they set up the gold room, make big steps forward in their mining operations, and celebrate important events like Parker's new house and the first gold find. The team is excited about the chance of finding more gold this season and is still focused on their mining goals.